Hey Sheila, I need that as soon as you're done, okay? Okay, all right. Everybody here, we're gonna start with Public Works. Okay, I'd like to call the Wagoner Public Works Authority regular business meeting July 7th at 6:05.
Did you want to do the pledge and stuff on this one, or do you want to wait? Do you want to do the pledge and stuff on this one?
We have Pastor Luke Henderson here from First Free Will Baptist Church to open us in prayer.
Lord, we just come before you this evening, God, we just pray, Lord, for your grace, for your wisdom, for your greater unity, Lord, in our community, God. We just pray, Lord, that you would help us work all things out to the betterment of the city, God, and for your glory. Just ask it in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Bob?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 1, consider approval of the minutes of June 2nd, 11th, and 23rd, 2025.
Discussion? Entertaining motion?
So made.
Second.
Have a motion, second, please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Item number 2, consider approval or denial of claims for June 2025 to include WPWA to include numbers 2009 through 228, which are manual warrants.
I know it may not be a big issue to some, but, okay, let me look at it again, make sure I'm on the right thing. 209 to 228, okay, no, that's not it. Okay, we're good. I don't have the other stuff in there, the purchase order claims in the document. It does.
For Public Works?
We're in Public Works, ain't we?
Yeah. Public
Yeah.
Works.
That's what I thought. On all petty cash paydouts, I would like to see all receipts, which I have asked for since I've been on council 4.5 years, probably about 4 times. And Brenda asked before she passed away that she wanted to have all petty cash paid out receipts as well. I greatly
Call up there and
appreciate it.
Talk to them.
No, we said in a meeting. We have said this several times in a meeting.
How many of those is there a month?
It just depends on the month.
Depends.
The whole fund has $400 in it, so. But I'll make copies.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Further discussion?
What's AP, when it says transfer to AP?
Accounts payable.
Accounts payable.
Anyone else? Entertaining motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion, second, please call roll.
Butler,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Item number 3 is the chairman's report.
All right. So, council, July 21st, we used to do this, I wanted to get back to it, have an employee swim, get together, hot dogs, chips, that stuff, so we're looking July 21st, 6:30, or I think it's gonna go to 8?
But usually they're 8:30, but
Okay,
whatever.
8:30. And then for our employees of the month, there he is. We have Mr. Charlie Rainbow. Charlie is one of our shop mechanics. He's doing a really good job, and we really appreciate him. Congratulations, Charlie. So our next one is on June 22nd, we have Mr. Brendan Standish. He saved a small child, approximately 3 years old, at the pool from drowning. This swift action, that child's still with us. Brandon, we're extremely proud of you, man. Thank you very much from the city of Wagoner.
Item number 4, consider rejecting all bids on City of Wagoner drainage improvements, UPRR bore, and authorizing rebid of project per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group, LLC, or take other action.
Can you hear me?
It's not on.
Can you hear me now?
Nope.
Got light on the bottom.
No.
There's a thing on the bottom you have to push.
Something on the bottom you have to push.
Thanks. I'll speak loud. Okay. We had 5 contractors that checked out plans and potential bidders. We only had 1 on the job, and it was more than what the budget was. On the way back from the bid, I made a phone call, and then Mr. Peters made a phone call. And we got a couple more bidders that will bid the project. So our recommendation is reject all the bids, and we'll go out for bids again.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion to reject all bids and per Infrastructure Solutions Group.
I'll say it.
Have a motion, same, please call roll.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Item number 5, consider accepting the storm sewer Phase 2 Cassiver Drainage Project cast-in-place concrete junction boxes with Drake Construction as complete, and authorize the chairman to sign the closeout documents or take other action.
Council, we've already approved the final payment to the contractor. This is just a formality for the funding agency. We got some forms and things we got to fill out to say that we've done this part of the project. And all we're doing is accepting the project as complete.
Entertain a motion.
So made.
Second. Have a motion second, please call roll.
Butler.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 6, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with Tulsa Asphalt LLC for purchase of coal patch asphalt at $119 per ton, or take other action.
Discussion. Entertain a motion.
So made.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Wilson.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Item number 7, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with Pryor Asphalt Incorporated for purchase of Class C hot lay at $67 per ton, or take other action.
Discussion.
We just got one bid.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else? Entertain a motion.
Make that motion and enter into contract with Prior Asphalt.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Wright.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Item number 8, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with Allstate Termite and Pest Solutions for pest control for 17 city properties at $679 per quarter, or take other action.
This is the one we're using now?
Green Country Wildlife Specialist.
Okay, so is this local? All-Star?
These folks are out of Tulsa.
Oh, okay.
We didn't, nobody local bid.
Okay.
Discussion. Sound good to you, Anthony?
Pretty cheap.
More input than anybody else.
That's pretty reasonable.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion, enter into contract with Allstate Termite and Pest Control.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, please call roll.
Butler.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Item number 9, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with Muskogee Sand Company for purchase of field sand at $9 per ton, or take other action.
Discussion.
I'll make that motion to approve, Bill Sand from Muskogee Sand, $9 a ton.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, please call roll.
Thomas.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Item number 10, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with Kemp Stone Incorporated for purchase of 1.5-inch crusher run at $7 per ton, or take other action.
Discussion.
Is that right, the price? 'Cause look, if you go down here to this Class A rock, it's twice the amount.
Thomas?
Well, they have to clean Class A.
Huh?
They have to clean Class A.
Oh, okay.
More expensive.
Enough for you.
Yes.
Last year, the crusher run was $7 and the Class A was $12,
Oh,
so.
okay.
You said Class A was 12 last time?
Last year, it was 12,
Went up.
the 3/4 inch.
Gone up $4?
Yep.
All right, I'll make that motion to, for Kemp Stone for 1.5-inch crusher run at $7 per ton.
Second.
Motion second, please call roll.
All right, who was my second?
Shane.
Thank you. Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Item number 11, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with Kemp Stone Incorporated for 3/4-inch Class A rock at $16.35 per ton, or take other action.
Discussion. Entertained motion.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and second, please call roll.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Item number 12, consider ending the probation period on the following employee, Jordan Lancaster, or take other action.
Okay, we would like to make that effective for July 2nd, 2025. No change in rate. His rate is $27.65. Jordan's done an excellent job for the city of Wagoner. He has implemented a new system that is helping us keep track of our fleet and doing, normal maintenance on him, keeping track of all that good stuff. He's just done an excellent job, so we'd like to take him off probation.
Any discussion?
I'll make that motion to take Jordan Lancaster off of probation at $27.65 an hour effective today, or 8/2, or 7/2.
Second.
Have a motion and second, please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 13, consider adoption of a resolution authorizing a loan from Armstrong Bank in the total aggregate principal amount of $100,000 for partial payment of the purchase price for one EnviroSight Rower X HD system with integrated camera lift and related accessories, waiving competitive bidding, approving the issuance of a promissory note in the total aggregate principal amount of $100,000 secured by a certificate of deposit, and authorizing its execution, approving and authorizing the execution of a security agreement, approving various covenants and containing other provisions relating thereto, or take other action.
This is for the sewer camera. The issues we're having northeast part of town, southeast part of town. Any discussion? Entertained motion?
What's the interest rate on this loan?
4%.
1%.
4.
4%, I'm sorry. yes.
One over CD rate.
Is it fixed, I'm guessing, right? Fixed interest rate?
It's
I didn't.
fixed. Is it fixed
Yeah,
interest?
Okay.
Again, I didn't see that. What's the term or the loan? How many years? Just 2 years?
We,
2 years. 2
a
years,
down payment this year and then 2 payments.
Everything gets
$250,000 payments.
Did we already pay the 35,000 deposit?
No, it'll be, I think 47,000 down. I know we have not paid anything yet. I was told that if it was approved tonight, that Kenneth would, give the go-ahead tomorrow.
The details on the camera and equipment, exactly what they are and how much they cost, is actually the subject of the next agenda item, but they're attached to the motion authorizing its purchase. That should have been part of your intended package.
It is. It is.
And the waiving competitive bidding, just to be clear, is not the competitive bidding of the camera itself. It's the competitive bidding of the loan.
Because you just going with Armstrong and not looking for any other. Because it's 4% interest rate or whatnot, so there was.
I don't know who would, I don't know anything about the loan other than the terms of the loan. I didn't negotiate the loan or anything like that.
Who picked Armstrong? I mean, is there?
It was the best interest rate you could get besides, it was, at first we were gonna go with the company. I don't know if you remember us talking about that.
The company itself?
It was actually better to borrow it against the CD. Plus local. Further discussion? Entertain a motion?
So made. Make the motion.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Butler.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Item number 14, consider adoption of resolution approving the purchase of one EnviroSite Rower X HD system with integrated lift and related accessories, or take other action.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the purchase of the EnviroSite XHD system.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Item number 15, consider authorizing transfer of sick leave to employee Amanda Franks, or take other action.
Amanda is a library employee. She's been with us for a year and a half, I believe. She just went full-time not that long ago. She is off probation, and we've exhausted all of her sick leave at this point. We don't know the exact extent of her injury just yet, but we will find out probably tomorrow. We wanted to go ahead and ask for permission to extend her sick leave donations so that we can get her through with a paycheck.
Discussion?
Is that, in
Is
that?
this transfer, somebody's transferring a sick leave?
Yes, so let's say, for instance, I wanted to donate time to her, I could donate anywhere from an hour to 40 hours,
Okay.
and it comes out of my sick leave.
I just, well, it was said different, I just want to make sure it was corrected. So it's, we're at 40,
Yeah, sorry, transfer, excuse
Okay.
me, that was mine.
Entertaining motion?
I'll make a motion to transfer sick leave to employee Amanda Franks.
Second.
If we do what we usually do, should say not to exceed.
Not to exceed,
not
and not to exceed 40 hours.
Thank you.
Second.
Have a motion, second, please call roll.
Butler.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Item number 16 is review of the employee policies and procedures manual of the Wagoner Public Works Authority.
Sixteen, 17 kind of go right along with each other, kind of, right? We're just reviewing it, then we'll adopt it.
We're just reviewing right now, yeah. We're
Okay,
just reviewing,
so-
there shouldn't be anything. we have to do
So there's
right
no
now.
motion on that, I got you, okay.
Hey, Kelly, are you keeping an eye on that? What's that? This thunder out there. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure we get Ms. Julie May the safety we got to take care of.
Yeah, I'll pick her up and we'll take her out.
She didn't hear us.
I think I should.
Any discussion?
Yes. Oh, so yeah, we're discussing right now. Let me see, I had a couple.
Does everybody have their windows up outside?
There was something here, let me see if I can find it real quick, but it had to do with the it had to do with the procedures, there we go. The disciplinary procedures, on here, basically it's just saying that like a verbal warning or whatnot, and it says your supervisor may document that verbal reminder, but it needs to be, like, it should be a must. Because it's, I mean, there needs to be documentation on that, so it's very clear to the supervisor and the employee that it will be documented. So I think that word needs to be changed to must. Or will. Or, no, just must.
I think must.
Shall, must. Well, shall. As long as it implies that they have to.
Where are you at? What number?
It's on page 23,
Okay,
on the disciplinary procedure.
got you.
I thought I had something else.
Okay, so on page 23. I think our battery's died.
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay. Gives me more time.
Those are probably left on all the time, if I had to guess.
We're supposed to turn off, and that's for you to get sick.
Pretty big. I guarantee most time people aren't turning it off, just sitting there.
right, that better? Okay, so page 23, under verbal warning, at the end, it says your supervisor shall document the verbal reminder.
I was just looking through the verbiage of just what we have in here, and most of them say must, so,
So put must, okay.
yeah, I would say put must, because it's a direct.
I agree.
Where's it at? Sorry, I'm trying to find it. Maybe you know where it is. I'm looking for the, there's two of them. I'm looking for the felony one in here. I don't know what page it's on. I don't remember.
24.
It's gone. There's only thing that's in there about felonies is that if you get a felony,
That's-
you will be terminated.
When you're already employed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the felony thing is not in here, but it's still in this one, right?
It's
Oh,
gone.
it's different. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Well, good. That's why I maybe I need to, and then I think there was one more thing.
I like, on the written warning, I am like the part that says, after the meeting, your supervisor might write you a memo to you to summarize the discussion of, and your agreement to change. Well, I don't think that, I think that they should be required to write a memo, period, to them.
It is on the write-ups. Whenever we do a write-up, there's a portion where it says city remarks, and then the employee has an opportunity to respond, and then it says actions to be taken, and then the employee signs as well as supervisor.
And they get a copy of that.
Yes, they do.
So, okay, so it was, unless I have the wrong, on page 4, it still says that on there as far as the felony stuff, page 4.
It's been taken out completely.
So okay. I'll
Just mark it out if it is in there.
yeah, I'll mark it out, and then
Mark it out.
I would like to, Mr. Hicks, is there any way whenever we approve it, that if I make a motion, just to make sure that, to state these things in, because what I have is what I have, so.
Yes, sir.
Just to say, so can I do that? Make, revise the motion,
Wrong with that.
Yeah, no, you can amend it.
just to, right.
That's what we're doing.
Okay, well, I'm just saying as far as like, just, so it'd be, okay. I would, not to steal anyone's thunder, I would like to make that motion whenever we get to that part.
So the part right here says nonviolent.
Yeah, that's all gone. I apologize. I must have not took it out on the public works side and did on the city, so that would be my fault, but it is gone.
Okay,
So that entire sentence.
It's all gone. Yep, every bit of it,
so
gone.
we, actually, I can just say F, the item, yeah, hiring procedure, item F. There we go. That'll be even easier. to see. Okay, I'm good. I don't think there's anything else I see.
Anything else? All right, let's move on.
Item number 17, consider adoption of a resolution amending and adopting the Employee Policies and Procedures Manual of the Wagoner Public Works Authority, or take other action.
I make a motion that we, okay, you want to go ahead?
Well, I wanted to see, she wasn't listening to me. No, I was wanting to make sure okay, so may I make that motion, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to, where is it at? Oh, there it is. Consider adoption of the resolution of amending and adopting the Employee Policy and Procedures Manual, the Wagoner Public Works Authority, and
Don't forget the other thing.
yes, I got it, yes, and take out hiring procedure 207 Item F, which.
The last sentence of item F.
The last sentence of item F, and as well as the disciplinary procedures on item A, which is under verbal warning, and you said something else, right?
No, that
Must.
wasn't the motion I was gonna make.
It wasn't?
No.
What else?
With changing the word to must.
Yeah, we're changing the word to must on the,
These days, must.
yes, must, and what else do you need?
Like that the rest of it.
Anything else? Those two I want to make sure that we're
Okay,
there.
all right.
Is there anything else? And, yes, and that's it.
Entertain a second.
I'll second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Butler,
Yes.
North,
No.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
No.
Wright,
No.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Also, I would like to state that the audio is working on our live stream, but for some reason, I cannot get the video to work. My apologies. I have shut it down, started it over, done all the things. At least we have audio, so.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Item number 18 is unscheduled public appearances.
We have Miss Sheila McCormick. She's wanting to talk about some flooding in a ditch area. Go ahead, Sheila.
My concern,
Will you use that microphone, please?
my concern is I live by Union Baptist Church, and I'm tired of the flooding and the ditch.
What road is it? Give me a-
It's 609
Give me
Fillmore.
that.
It's 609 South Fillmore, Wagoner, Oklahoma. I've been asking about 3 or 4 years now.
The Southwest 6 run right there by it too.
It's,
Right there by the church.
it's on the,
You know,
I know where the church is.
yeah, where the church is.
I
Uh-huh.
can
It's,
say
it's on Fillmore, and it's also on, and it's floods over there on 6 by Department too. That parking lot. My parking lot where I go in.
Do you- Which, those are like lettered, aren't they? Those-
I live right next to the church.
Which complex is it?
It's C.
C?
Uh-huh.
There, she lives on the, behind, if you're looking at the church, she lives on the southwest corner.
Thomas, do you know where she's talking about? Okay, that's all that matters.
Thomas had been there before. We had discussed this before, and she brought it to my attention. And Thomas went there and looked at the church. So what it is the church don't have a culvert there for that water to drain, so that's why it's flat and it floods there.
There's none on either road right there. It's just, they got a paved parking lot, don't they? The L's.
Paved parking lot, it used to have a clean out in the middle of the parking lot, that water ran in, well, that box collapsed. So they done away with the box, so now the water, when it goes in, it's got a lot farther to go because it's all piped in. It needs bigger pipes, all more water, and then downstream from it, you're going to have to up the pipes all the way down through there, across 6th Street. The office that belongs to the apartments, they'll have to have bigger pipes, so everything's got to be bigger down there.
Was one that collapsed concrete? What one was the box that collapsed, it was a concrete
Yes,
box?
there's concrete tiles that goes across the church parking.
Mary, is that your church?
Yes, and it's standing
That's
water
wonderful,
and
Miss
causes
Jones.
the parking lot to
With a
collapse.
100-year-old woman, you know, the 100-year-old lady,
Yeah,
yeah, right there.
Those old concrete boxes, you know, those things are so old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you have the trash truck to come in and out and put the weight on it, it's just cause it to keep collapsing due to the moisture and all of the water there. We did talk about it many years ago.
I'm gonna get with Renee and I'll try to get with that, y'all's pastor next week. And maybe us and Thomas can get together and we can start looking at something.
Appreciate it.
Anytime, Sheila. Have a good evening.
She the only one? She the only one?
She's the only one.
Item number 19 is departmental reports.
Kind of gonna do this a little different since both works. Miss Moore? Anyone here from the hospital?
The lady in front of, or is she from the hospital in front of Dale, right behind Kelly?
No.
Is she not? Oh, yeah. Okay, everybody here then. Renee's here.
Do the report.
Wouldn't be accurate.
People are saying.
There you go.
Last month, we had 1,724 calls for service. We worked 8 collisions. Last week, we had one right there at 69 Highway by the entrance of Brahms and Walmart. And while we were working that one, we had a second one that occurred at 69 and 51. So we had quite the interesting time right there for a little while, about an hour and a half, I guess. We booked 21 people into the jail, and we took 81 reports.
Any questions for Bob? Thanks, Bob. Jim?
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. It's not freezing.
He turned it on just for you, Tony.
You know, last month we were busy finishing out the year. And the first, we started with our 3rd ambulance. And they've all been very busy, and we've been very lucky to have it. All the rest Bob talks about, we've been at, plus many others. So we've been very busy, and it's been a blessing having that 3rd truck on. So we appreciate y'all allowing us to do that. We attended a conference in Oklahoma City, had some very good training, and we had a crew that participated, and they done very well. Otherwise, it's been training and just staying busy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly?
I've been on vacation, so I'll give you a report. We still have the pump setting on the dike, one big pump. He's been calling, wanting it back. He was wanting a tractor back. But we're kind of in limbo right now. We can't pull it down because we've still got rain in the forecast and the lake's still 19 foot. So, it's kind of tough to do anything there. You pull all that out, it takes a long time to get it back up. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I'm glad that we have it in our, that it was approved in our budget to eventually buy one of them pumps, so.
Who's it? Who has it? Who's this that we have now?
We have the forestry.
We have a tractor.
Oh, the forest.
from ODOT.
We have a tractor from ODOT, and a pump from forestry out of Kansas.
Oh,
They went
just
all
ask
the
for
way to
forgiveness later.
Well, they've been calling, and the guy told me they hadn't used it in years, but then they called and said they might need it, and they were trying to find us another one around here, and I guess, I never heard back, so.
Oh.
So, I don't know. Jimmy, do you have anything else? I was on vacation last week.
Yeah, I seen that.
Thank you. Any questions?
Is there anybody out there?
Nobody I can see.
Okay, all right, appreciate it. Brad? Or, hold on, sorry, Gary. Kelly was blocking you, Gary.
We got a busy month ourselves, trying to keep up without the rain and all the other stuff. Pool's been running good and everything else that, just trying to keep up with mowing and without all the flooding, just kind of making it hard to keep up with rain and mowing. So, other than that, it's
I
just,
didn't even know where you was around last night.
yeah, we got some today and it's still hard to keep up with mowing, so we're doing a lot of weed eating, so.
Appreciate you. Anyone have anything for Gary?
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Brad?
June was busy for us, a lot of rain. One day we had 4.7 million gallons come through. That was the most I've seen since I've been here. We had a lightning strike. We lost a lot of fuses, a lot of contactors, a lot of transformers, some motors on our clarifier arms. We got all those back and going. Jordan got our digester aerator going. Appreciate that. Other than that, that's about it. Any questions?
Thank you, Brad. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Jordan?
Just trying to keep up with everything that breaks down. The ambulances, we've had several of them that have came in over the past, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. Air conditioners with the heat, just trying to help Brad out there at the sewer plant. We've got some things being built for that, so we'll probably be busy out there the next 2-3 weeks. And should have all those digesters back up and running. That's it.
Anyone? Thanks, sir. Thomas?
This last month, we've just been dealing with a lot of rain. We've blocked off several roads, sacked several sandbags, delivered, jetted out 20-something pipes, cleaning ditches. We got the last of the concrete poured out front here. The street's open, but it's not where it needs to be yet, and we're dealing with it. That's about all I've got, unless you got some questions.
Have we heard anything, I know we talked about closing that down, I think last week. Have we heard anything else from them on Casper?
They're here tonight. If somebody's wants a direct question to them, maybe.
Are you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you know when you all are gonna repave or start back on Casper?
Yes, sir, we're trying to wait till the concrete work done on Trenton Circle, and we're gonna do everything at once.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anyone else?
There were some people that, on Southwest, let's see, what's that street that, that car lot's down? H something, yeah, Triple H. That street, you guys paved that street right there, Southwest something. Ninth, okay. Y'all paved Southwest 9th Street, but no citizen knew that this area was getting paved. And when they went out to their car to ask them what was they doing, because they want the oil on their car, one of your employees told them that if there's such a big problem, once you park down the road and put your clothes in it and walk down there and get it. And the girl said, she said, I can identify him to the T. And I said, why didn't you take a picture? She said, and she had a video, but it was somebody on that round thing, and, yeah. And he got smart with her, and she brought it to me at work that same day. If I wasn't on the hourly, I would left.
If you give me a name, I'll take care of that problem.
Okay.
Appreciate it, Thomas.
Thank you.
Jessica?
In addition to what you guys already have, we have 3 Habitat homes that were issued COs with 3 more pending, and we have several of those already sold according to Habitat. Dollar General estimates its opening on the 28th of July, so coming up really soon. We have opened 14 code cases in June, 17 permits were written for June, 52 inspections. The Board of Adjustment will meet for the first time in 2 years tomorrow night. And the History Center had a decent turnout for the 4th of July week, so very proud about that. We have new exhibits, so if anybody wants to come see what we've done, it'd be great.
The property owner to the south wall, what's that about?
I'm sorry?
Talking about conversations have opened up to the property owner on the south side to secure the wall?
The junction?
Mhm.
Yes. The property owner to the south of the junction has requested to hire their own structural engineer to debate what the structural engineer that PDG hired has stated.
You told me we called and told them we were gonna condemn it and tear it down. So,
Yes, and they have appealed to us, and we are in talks with them.
Well, last
We're
time I
not
went to
tearing
the
nothing
WEDA board, they said that building was structural and it was okay, and they was gonna sell the property to somebody, and these people was gonna buy it, but they was asking a little bit too much money for it, but they said the wall was okay. This is when Tony Lowe was in there, so it was nothing wrong with that wall.
We had a structural engineer look in the last couple of months, and it is not okay.
It's not even the south wall, it's also the west wall leaning forward as well. The road that's facing Main Street is leaning forward.
So we're gonna tear the whole thing down,
Don't know.
all three.
I met with, Guy Gaither, he's the.
Guy Gaither?
or-
Guy Edwards.
Guy Edwards, sorry, that used to be my account. Guy Edwards, he's kind of the money man, the gentleman that owns that. They met one evening, Boomerang, and, they're gonna get their own structural engineer. He believes that Tony Lowe had told him that the city, WEDA, whoever was gonna pay 100% for that wall. Tony never once told me, my understanding, at most was 50%. I mean, WEDA didn't own that building when the fire happened. So I don't know how it could be WEDA's responsibility when they didn't own
Yep.
the property when the fire happened.
Hey, this guy here with the one he's on the shop, on 15th Street. Okay. I never heard Tony Lowe say gonna pay 100%, and nothing like that.
I
You know.
believe they said that there's a chance that there's 50%. It's a shared wall, I mean, it's
Yeah.
shared responsibility. Now, the fire didn't start there, but
Mhm.
once again, we didn't own the property when the fire started either. So there's a lot of questions there. Like I said, I've never once, we've been talking about this junction for a long time now. Never have I ever heard 100%. And we may not even be responsible for the 50%. What do you got?
The question, I guess my question is, whenever we acquired the building, like, when,
We don't own the building.
we don't?
No,
No,
guys,
just-
I mean, that,
We own the property
Yeah.
to the north of it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay,
We don't own that building.
okay.
What else you got?
No,
Dollar General,
Mhm.
I'm assuming that they're gonna be hiring a lot more employees.
I have not
Just
heard,
assuming
so I
it's a lot
don't.
Bigger store.
Yep.
Where would our citizens go to apply to work there?
Probably their website, but I can reach out to them and see.
See if they're gonna have maybe a job fair here, or?
I have not heard,
Some
but
transfer quite a bit of their employees
Are
from
they?
the existing.
I can reach out and find out.
Yeah,
See if I can
that way,
find out.
if they're gonna hire more people, jobs for our citizens,
Mhm.
maybe we can put something on our website.
Okay.
Do that. Also, where are we at with this Allsip, the truck stop?
We're working with them on a road upgrade for 15th Street.
Any other discussion?
well, we're not gonna go around tearing people's stuff down, so I mean, that's not gonna happen.
You're one counselor, you don't speak.
I
for the
would
whole
hope
board.
that everybody else
If
would feel the
somebody's
same
not
way,
gonna take
but
care of
that's,
the property and it's an eyesore and a threat to our citizens, you want one of your family members walking down the sidewalk and a brick falling, hit them in the head?
That's another thing, since you said brick, when is that property that's burnt over there with 18?
They pulled a permit.
You what now?
They have pulled a permit.
Okay, so
They're working with the Wagner Arts Alliance, so they don't have to tear that building down as well for that wall to get it secured
Yeah,
before
but
they can
that's-
start demolition.
Some lady, some guy and wife walked right by there and glass just fell right behind them.
how secure is the Harris building? And that's bricks.
I don't know that. I'm not a structural engineer.
Until we look at our own, we can't go pointing fingers at
We've
everybody
had a
else.
structural engineer look at this. You wanna just
Don't
throw
have
out
that.
tax dollars and have every building that we own?
Is there any more questions for me?
Structural engineer?
Paper on it.
Not for me.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I'd like to see a paper on it. We're gonna talk about it.
we're not talking about the Harris building, we're talking about the junction,
Right.
two different properties.
Correct.
Correct. Janie?
As y'all can see from the report, we are summer reading, summer reading, summer reading. So Mr. Sampson came out
Yes.
one day last week.
Yeah.
Yes, and so,
Yeah, I would like to, so I went to the Will Rogers thing with the kids or whatnot, and it was actually pretty, I knew about Will Rogers, but I learned a little bit more, and so they had the ropes and everything else, so my kids actually enjoyed being there, and I sit there and I enjoyed it myself, so I'm glad you guys are actually having things for the kids, and there was quite a few kids there doing it, so.
yes.
Yeah.
The day of on the Animal Day, we actually did 2 sessions because we have so many kids and we try to make sure that everybody gets to be hands-on with the animals, so.
Yeah, I figure, I just realized I was pretty good with the lasso, so I'm pretty good. Better than all the kids there, so just. Someone did video, I don't know who it was, but they did video me doing it, so.
We've got about 4 more weeks of summer reading, so if y'all want to come out, let us know. I sent out calendars earlier before we began. Heather'd love to have y'all out, come up and see the kids at the library, so we've been very busy.
Thank you.
Item number 20 is adjournment.
So made. Second.
Okay.
Motion second, please call roll.
Butler.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the City of Wagner regular business meeting July 7th at 7:01.
Either one, whatever you want.
Item number 3, consider approval of minutes of June 2nd, 11th, and 23rd, 2025.
Discussion?
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes. June the 2nd, 11th, and 23rd.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, please call roll.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Wilson.
No.
Item number 4, consider approval or denial of claims for June 2025 to include city numbers 238 through 266 or manual warrants, EMS to include numbers 146 through 159 manual warrants, Economic Development Fund numbers 23 through 26, and city capital projects number 6.
Is, what porta potties is that what park?
We have some at Maple Park.
Why we have to make the bathrooms don't work at Maple Park?
We split them up, have it on each side.
Red Bud?
I can't remember, Gary.
I know there's, and then there's one between field 3 and 4, I think.
Is it one at Dunbar?
No.
And the other one's between 3 and 4 in Maple.
So it's right off Story.
Yeah, right off a Story.
It's in between, the field right there, the baseball field, right past the swimming pool.
Oh, yeah.
Right
And then
there, right,
between that and
yeah,
softball.
Right in between them two.
And Nate Gibson, 3828, what train did we go? I mean, that's just hotel, so what train was it? OSBI. Okay, when these people go to a training that's gonna cost a lot of money like this, is they required to work here for a period of time? Because if it's me and I get my OSBI training and you send me to a hotel, I might work 2 months, I'm gonna quit and go somewhere else. I mean, that just personally just
Been
me.
here for years.
I know he's been here years, but I'm just saying.
And number two, we got a scholarship for that. We're supposed to be getting
Repaid,
reimbursed.
okay. And Joshua Bennett, broken car window. What was that? Rock fell back in.
The mowers were mowing out by the
Oh.
Assembly of God Church and threw a rock through his window.
That's what I thought at first.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that was you? Oh, then you getting double charged. Who's Dale Hobson? What employee?
That's EMS.
Okay.
And that hotel messed up and didn't put that account on the city credit card. He was in our convention, so he paid for it, and we just reimbursed him.
Okay. I didn't know. I never heard of him, so I didn't know. That's it.
Anyone else? Entertain a motion?
So made.
Second.
Have a motion, second, please call roll.
Butler.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Wilson.
No.
North.
Yes.
Item number 5 is the mayor's report.
Yeah, I want to talk about something, Gayla and Nate, I saw you both posted on Facebook about the change orders. And I don't say you don't understand, I think you're looking at it the wrong way. And what I mean by that is if you go to Kevin Grover and you get an oil change and they check your car out and they say, well, you need new air filter, and you need windshield wiper blades, you don't have to do it. It's on you. I mean, do you want it done right, and your car moves the correct way, or, we don't have to do these things, but it's gonna cost us in the long run if we don't do these. And,
Yeah.
You know, and the thing that really upsets me is that you say, well, why don't they, why, Dale doesn't, he's not the city of Wagoner, he works for us. If you go out there to Grover's and they say, well, you need an air filter, well, Mr. Grover, why don't you pay for my air filter? I've came here a long time. He's gonna say, no, that's not how it works.
Well, I'll know if I need an air filter before it even happened.
No, you
But
won't.
yeah, it will, because I can have, I get oil change, and they said, okay, you want an air filter to go with that? If you don't have to pay for it. It's my choice. But when you get change orders every freaking month, that's,
You got a lot of
that,
projects going. It's
well,
not
you know
always-
what? If I'm an engineer and whoever the person is, they should know how to measure and do everything precisely right. Now, I did get confirmation on this today of why it was a change order, because we didn't measure right. You know, but other than that, like the $135 last week, he said, oh, I'll pay for it, and then somebody made a motion, said, no, we go ahead and pay that $135, when he said, I'll eat it and pay it.
He didn't say that.
Yes, he did.
That
Pull the
wasn't,
tape up.
that wasn't a change order. That was just a mistake on the recommendation
yeah.
letter. It wasn't a change order.
Okay.
And he said that we could put the
Yeah,
other,
he said, I'll pay for it.
And he didn't say a thing.
Yes, he did.
No.
Yes, he did.
Regardless,
Well, we calling each other back and
it-
forth.
It's not right. It's not his responsibility. That's not how America works. You can't have, if I'm gonna own a business, I'm not gonna go to work for somebody and I have to fix something, I have to do something for them. I'm not gonna do it for free.
Okay, first of all, if you got a problem with this, then we'll discuss it after the meeting, but right now, we having a city meeting, and you want to go on with this, we
Yeah,
can,
this
but
is-
right now,
this is my
you know,
report.
well, your
And so
report, then
this is what
don't,
I'm asking about.
well, I told you,
I'm just
so.
saying, if we can say it on Facebook.
I can
we
say it
can-
right
we-
now to your
we-
face.
We can say it in a council meeting.
Yeah, we can say it, I don't care, but it just, I'm not getting upset. I'm just trying to let you know that we always got a change order.
We have a lot of projects going on. That's just like with the pickleball court. We could have told them, no, we didn't have to put that coating down. But it would have bit us in the butt in the long run if we didn't do it correct.
Well, anybody,
Excuse me, Travis.
anybody
No more.
pickleball, you wouldn't know
One
that
more,
you
you're
need a
gone.
moisture barrier underneath that pickleball before you even did it. It's because it's in a wet area.
It's talking about though, we thought we were gonna be able to paint it.
Now, the moisture barrier is what the money was for.
Exactly, because we could not
Paint it.
paint it. We thought we were gonna be able to paint it.
But then he should have known it had to be a moisture barrier in it, when it's a wet ground,
The
and
gentleman that bid it thought he could paint it. You talk about hiring an engineer. When you hire an engineer, you don't just get, an engineer that knows absolutely everything.
well, maybe we should get one then that knows everything.
You have to go with a company.
Well, maybe we should get another company, don't stick with the same ones
Well,
all the
why didn't we
time.
bring this up 2 months ago in the budget?
Well, you know what, a lot of things we supposed to brought up the budget for, you know, is wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
I have a
No.
question. So the young man that bidded the job, was he contracted out by that,
By who?
by the young?
You mean infrastructure?
Infrastructure, was he contracted out by?
No, it's contracted out by us.
Okay. And so the ones that bidded the job for that, I kind of can see both sides of it. You know, if I did concrete work, I'm gonna know what it all entails if I have to put it down. And so it's the same if you specialize in pouring concrete work and you know it's outdoors, there's a possibility that it's gonna be some moisture. And so I think the question would be that shouldn't that have been put up front, meaning that there's a possibility that this may need a moisture barrier, but in the event that it don't, you know, we can refund that or we can take that out of the contract. It's just when someone comes to you, it'd be like every time my son comes to me and says, Mom, I need a little bit more and I need a little bit more. So I can kind of see both sides of it. If you're a professional and you bid a job, which I work with my brother-in-law on that, whenever he would bid we would bid a job, we have to entail everything that it may entail. And then if we didn't need that, then we go back and we let them know, we would amend that and says, well, we don't need that. But when someone comes before the city and it seems like it's the same person and every time there's an increase, I need a little bit more, it kind of looks suspicious. I'm not saying anything personally about the young man, but that's what it looks like personally. So, you know, I'm sure there's another solution that we can try to resolve that or bring that to everyone's attention so that we can work through that instead of arguing about it.
It's just, there's several projects. It's not just one thing.
I understand there's several projects, but again, if you bid a job and you are a professional, you should know what you're going to need. In the event that you don't need that, then you can amend that and give that back. We're talking about one individual requesting numerous times for an increase. So we're not going to avoid the elephant in the room, let's address it. And, you know, we're not saying anything bad about the young man that was asking for the increase, but let's just not avoid the conversation and just try to come to a resolution instead of just sitting here arguing about it.
Well, even with that, I mean, he was $40,000 cheaper than the next person. We may have spent an additional $7,000 with two change orders.
And I understand that, Mary Self, even if he was cheaper, you still have an obligation to a bid. And we appreciate him being cheaper and giving us a discount, but if you think you're gonna need a little bit more, then request for a little bit more. And then if you don't need that and it doesn't fulfill the amount that you request for, then just go back and amend it and give that back to him.
I've only seen that happen one time, I haven't got anything back.
Well, let's make it 2 times.
And that was pavement.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a rare thing. Usually when it's bid, we're on the hook for that.
Well, just, you know, if we're gonna work together and we're being partners and it appears that we do a lot of work with this young man, then maybe that's something we should come into partnership. You know, you said he gave us a discount on the bid, so if we're gonna work together and we're gonna be partners, then let's work together, you know? And if not, we don't need to sit up here and argue about it.
I'm not trying to argue.
Okay.
with you,
I understand.
Renee. That's all I got.
Item number 6, consider accepting the storm sewer Phase 2 Casper Drainage Project cast-in-place concrete junction boxes with Drake Construction as complete and authorize the mayor to sign the closeout documents per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group LLC or take other action.
Council, this is the same agenda item that was on the PWA, just accepting the project as complete.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
So me.
Second. Have a motion, second, please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Item number 7, consider rejecting all bids on City of Wagoner drainage improvements, UPRR bore, and authorizing rebid of project per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group, LLC, or take other action.
This is the same item we bid out the bore of the railroad tracks, had 5 contractors, checked out plans, only one bid. We do have other contractors that are interested in bidding on the project now, so we would recommend canceling all these, rejecting all of these bids and rebid the project.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion to reject all bids for the drainage improvements project and authorize rebidding of the project.
Second.
Have a motion, second, please call roll.
Wright,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 8, consider declaring 4 monitors, old battery backups, camera parts, miscellaneous keyboards, etc., as surplus property and authorize disposal thereof for the Wagoner City Public Library or take other action.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
I make that motion, declare all this stuff surplus.
Second.
Have a motion, second, please call roll.
Butler.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Item number 9, consider ratifying the appointment of Luke Henderson as board member of the Wagoner County Metropolitan Area Planning Commission or take other action.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion to ratify the appointment of Luke Henderson to the board member of the Wagoner Metro Planning Area Planning Commission.
Second.
Have a motion, second, please call roll.
Thomas.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Item number 10, consider the promotion of Jeff Patterson as Assistant EMS Director or take other action. Note, the council may adjourn to an executive session for the purpose of discussing the above item pursuant to Title 25 OS, Section 307B1.
Discussion?
I'm guessing that's Mr. Patterson right there.
Yeah. Entertain a motion?
The salary for Mr., excuse me, Jeff Patterson, we would move from an hourly to a salaried employee The amount of that would be $65,000 per year. And we'd like to make that effective for tomorrow.
Do you say the 8th?
Yes, ma'am, July
Thank you.
8th.
What are your certifications? What's his certifications?
This is advanced European. He's been a supervisor for us for almost 10 years.
Okay.
And he's like me, he's been in EMS almost 30 years.
Thank you, Nancy.
When was this position created?
Sorry.
When was this position created?
Hopefully tonight.
No, when was it created?
The position in total?
In this budget year, this is one of our first ones. With expanding for a third truck, and a new station, and then also with the assistant director, we'll actually have the ability to have a fourth truck. We can respond, that will give us an extra truck, and he will help cover vacations and sick leave as well, if we can't get part-timers.
So if and when we get a new station, he'll be at the second one, you'll be at the first one? Is that?
Haven't even really discussed that yet. But no one will be capable at most stations.
Right.
Probably, most of the business will be in the new stations, but he'll be back and forth between.
Further discussion?
I'll make the motion to approve Mr. Patterson as Assistant EMS Director.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, please call roll.
Butler?
Yes.
Higginbottom?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Wagoner?
Yes.
Wilson?
Abstain?
Sampson?
Yes.
North?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 11, consider ratifying the appointment of Todd Homburger as board member of the City of Wagoner Board of Adjustments effective July 9th, 2025, or take other action.
Discussion?
Do we have an ordinance that is on this? Do we have an ordinance on this?
What do you mean?
I handed it out. Title 11 says that you have to have an ordinance with term limits set. Term limits of 3 years and at least 5 members.
It's in the zoning ordinance.
It's in the
I think
zoning.
it's chapter 6 or whatever it is of the zoning ordinance.
Is it chapter 6?
But it may not be chapter, it may be article, I can't recall how the ordinances are divided by, but it's in the zoning ordinance.
Further discussion? Entertain a motion?
Make the motion to approve Mr. Homburger as board member for the Wagner Board of Adjustments.
Have a motion, entertain a second.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Butler?
Yes.
North?
Yes.
Wilson?
I'm going to vote yes on Mr. Ken Heck's word on that one. Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Wagoner?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Higginbottom?
Yes.
Sampson?
Yes.
Item number 12, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with Tulsa Asphalt LLC for purchase of cold patch asphalt at $119 per ton, or take other action.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second. Have a motion second, please call roll.
Higginbottom?
Yes.
North?
Yes.
Butler?
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Item number 13, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with Prior Asphalt Incorporated for the purchase of Class C hot lay at $67 per ton, or take other action.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
So made.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Item number 14, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with Allstate Termite and Pest Solutions for pest control for 17 city properties at $679 per quarter, or take other action.
Discussion?
So made.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Butler,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Item number 15, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with Lot Maintenance of Oklahoma Incorporated for quarterly street sweeping at $1,400 per quarter and on-call route sweeping at $1,700, or take other action.
Discussion?
What was it before? Was it 14 last time? It's been, I know it was,
Thomas, do you remember?
what it was before, the amount,
Sweeping.
the sweeping.
Price.
That amount, I think, is pretty close to the same, except for one time when they come, it's usually higher, or the state spreads so much sand, and we spread sand, and takes a lot longer to clean it up.
Okay.
Could be a slight increase on the 1,400, I really think it was, between 12 and 1,400 to begin with.
Yeah. I want to say it was 1,300 last time, but don't quote me on that.
This quarterly.
It's within 200 of what it originally started.
What is it?
So that's when they have incumbent weather and they use the sand?
Yes.
Okay.
Further discussion? Entertain a motion?
So made.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Thomas,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Item number 16, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with the Muskogee Sand Company for field sand at $9 per ton, or take other action.
Entertain a motion,
So made.
Second.
please call roll.
Butler,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Item number 17, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with Kemp Stone Incorporated for inch-and-a-half crusher run at $7 per ton, or take other action.
So made.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Item number 18, consider accepting a bid and entering into a contract with Kemp Stone Incorporated for 3/4-inch Class A rock at $16.35 per ton, or take other action.
Entertain a motion.
Make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Wright,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Thomas. Item number 19, consider authorizing transfer of sick leave to employee Amanda Franks or take other action.
Same as Public Works.
Make a motion to transfer sick leave to employee Amanda Franks.
Not to extend 40 hours.
Correct.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Wright,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Item number 20, consider adoption of a resolution declaring the north 100 feet of lots 1 and 2, Block 342, City of Wagoner, Wagoner County, State of Oklahoma, according to the duly recorded plat thereof as surplus property not needed for municipal purposes, and authorizing the sale thereof to Rogers Drug Incorporated or take other action.
Council, this is the lot directly east to the drugstore. It's not including the metal building to the south. It's where Sonny's Mufflers used to be, right there on, what's that side road?
Lee.
Lee.
And Cherokee. Steve's here, if anybody has any questions for him.
Did you get this appraised?
Yeah, we did. It appraised for 50.
It did appraise, excuse me, I'm sorry. It did appraise for 50. But the property that Olson bought for the tower complex that's going in just a block away, she bought that lot for 30. And that lot is larger than the one that's next to me. The person that did the appraisal on that did everything with how much per square foot these lots are. And two of the ones that he included on there have buildings on them. One of them is the building just west of Action Air. And the other one is where Hefner Block Plant used to be, now where Dollar General's going in. And there's no building on this one, so I took those two out, just at my liberty. You guys need to consider that, but if you just take those two buildings out, add up the price per square foot on the remaining 4 properties, he looked at 6 comps. If you look at the other 4 comps, minus the 6 minus the 2 that had buildings on it, it comes out to $2.04 a square foot. So if you're comparing just apples to apples, the one that Olson bought at $30,000 is $2.35 a square foot. The one next to me is 10,000 square feet. And so at $2.35 a square foot, that would just be $23,500. And we're literally just a block apart.
Didn't Olson have a building on hers?
Hers did not.
It did at one time.
It didn't when she bought it.
It wasn't when she bought it?
No.
What are your plans for the property?
You know, I was asked that, and first off, I wanted to own it because it's next to me. But I've been approached by, I kind of was thinking about maybe building something like a storefront for rental type deal like that. And I've been approached by several food truck vendors. I was thinking about cleaning it up because the grass right now is this high over there. And it's got some trees that need to be removed and things. I'd like to clean it up, maybe pour some pads and actually have like a food truck park kind of thing maybe. And running electric and water up into that area for them. I know the lady that used to work for me as a technician, she has frickin' chicken over in, she lives in Halbert, but she goes over to Tahlequah, and they're in the process of buying a new truck. And, so she's expressed interest, and she has other people that she knows that they would be willing to do that, so.
How many pads would?
I don't know. I haven't really gotten, I think 4 maybe, 4 or 5, whatever would fit comfortably without having to be a hassle. Yeah, you won't want to have to put 5 trucks in and have to remove 3 of them to get 1 out in case they decide to leave.
I'm trying to understand, you said it was Sonny's muffler,
Mhm.
and the behind there's a fence.
That's where it stops.
That's where it stops,
All right,
right.
because I was
We're
getting confused
We're
there for a
using
minute.
that building.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So just that.
so was
Correct.
this advertised out, or we just went to you because you're closer? I mean, near it. Was it ever advertised for if somebody else wanted to buy it or anything?
He's
I don't know.
the only person I've ever had reach out to me about it.
Do we have to put it for bids or no?
That's declared surplus. It's just the same thing as when property in front of Walmart, we were approached.
You said it appraised for 50?
Mhm.
50,000? Who did the appraisal?
It's the same one we've been using for these,
I have no idea.
what's, do you have it on this?
It's Compro?
Compro?
Corpro or
Corpro?
Compro, maybe. Compro, I think.
We're running into issues finding appraisals that do, commercial real estate. They're local.
Yeah, it's Compro.
Comp.
Compro Consultants.
I'd like to give 20,000 for it. There's some cleanup, tree removal, and apparently there's a 300-gallon used motor oil container under that property too, from when they used to, not the huge gas tanks, but there's a 300-gallon tank where like Sonny did oil changes. That would go in there and they would come every once in a while and empty that out. That came from Sonny. I don't personally know. I haven't gone out there and tried to find it, but I asked Sonny about that, and he walked off and told me about where it was, and I didn't dig in there and try to find it. But if it is there, I'll have to get it out of there.
So you said you wanted to pay us 20,000 for it?
Yeah,
And it appraised for 50?
correct. Yeah, I understand why that would be a problem, but that's why I was telling you that the property that's very similar to it, right up the street, sold for 30, and it was larger. And if I went just on her numbers, this would be 23,500. Because hers was $2.35 a square foot at 12,632 square feet. This property is 10,000 square feet, so you just take 10,000 times $2.35, it'd be 23.5. And I'm factoring in, if I gave you 23.5, then I'm gonna have to go, there is a tree that needs to come out, and, I mean, it's gonna have to come out either way. It's leaning up on my building. There's that and the potential on this, if there is that tank under there that Sonny told me about that needs to come out. I don't know what that would cost to get it removed.
Further discussion? Entertain the motion?
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
So if we sold this property for $20,000 to him, and there's this tank under there that we don't know if it's there or not, we don't know what it's gonna cost to remove that, is he going to eat the cost of removing that?
Has he?
And if it costs,
He owns it, he would.
well, no, I get that, but, I mean, I'm just throwing a number out there, because I don't know if the tank's there, what it costs, but let's say it cost another $20,000 for him to remove that tank, and he says, well, guys, I can't afford that, that property's just gonna sit there now.
No.
I mean, you say no, you're not the one buying the property, he is.
I mean, he still has to pay us the 20.
No, I get that, but if he's gonna buy the property, I don't want it to just sit there dormant, because there's this tank under there that,
Well, it's sitting there dormant now.
well, I know it's sitting there dormant now. No, I get that it's sitting there dormant now, I get that, but if this tank is sitting under there, and I don't know what his financials are, but if he can't afford to have that removed for whatever reason, he just said, "Nah, it's just, let's, can we not put it out for bid and see if somebody wants to pay higher for it, or?"
We're set. He's the only person that's approached about it.
I know he's the only person approached about it, but we haven't advertised for it either.
We haven't advertised for any of our properties. We've been approached by several for other locations.
I get that. There's just, only reason I'm saying that is because the property over by Walmart, you know, we took a hit on that with that gas line that was under there that we had, that obviously we didn't know about.
They came back and renegotiated. This is
Well, I know.
20,000 done deal now.
I get that.
Well, I don't know how you can compare it to that, because it's not the same situation.
But look at it this way, if there is hazardous material,
Right.
EPA, DEQ, whoever gets their hands on it, they're gonna come in, City of Wagoner's gonna remove it.
Sure.
If you say 20,000, and then we got a appraised lot down there, we was offered some money on it, now we're gonna stack 20 more on it.
Sure.
Let these people, this guy here, let him pay the cost and have it removed.
Does
If
that
we're
take
just
it
gonna
off
leave
of
it
us
sitting
and we've
there,
been notified of it here though?
I mean,
Right.
I don't know.
We
not
no
sure.
longer own it.
But we've been notified before.
We have
prior
not
to
been
the sale.
notified, we've been told by him.
Well, I like your idea of the food trucks.
I do too.
I think that's a really good idea, and it'd bring a lot of business, a lot of people on the outside of the county of Wagner too. It's a really good idea.
I mean, right now, it's sitting there, it's not making us utility revenue, it's not making us sales tax revenue. I mean,
I realize you got a $50,000 quote from somebody.
Right.
And I'm just comparing it to what has happened recently, you know, the property that's just a block away, that's larger, that was 30 grand, $2.35 a square foot. This is 10,000 square foot, and at that factor, that's 23.5. So when I come in at 20 and I'm gonna clean it up and pull that tank out, I'm guessing it's gonna cost, you know, $1,000 to take a tree down, probably another $2 grand to get this tank taken care of. Hopefully I don't run into other issues, but I would have to bear the brunt of the rest of that you're concerned about. You're still, you guys have the burden of determining whether or not you want to put it up. I totally get that. And I don't know what I would do, you know, in your situation, but I probably would have the same question. But are you gonna get more than the 30 grand that just happened up the street? I don't know. I don't know. And like I said, the ones that he did quote out had actual buildings on, you know, and the Hefner block plant probably wasn't gonna be much, you know, other than a tear down. And the one just to the west of Action Air, the other one, I don't know what they used that for. A couple of the other properties, one of the properties that was on there that appraised out at 30 grand was a lot on Southwest 19th Street. You know, totally residential thing. So I don't know how that really compares or why he would have chosen that, other than it just happened to be a piece of property that's sold. And the other piece of property was out here, Powell Acres, in between the two entrances to Powell Acres, that lot that was up front. Kind of, that's one of the other ones that he comped. But I mean, you've got all that to look at. So, I mean, I get it. I thought 50 was high, but I'm just comparing it to, you know, what I know. Basically what you gave.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to authorizing the sale of the said property we're talking about to Rogers Drug and accept his 20,000, but I'd like to.
23.
No, it was 20.
You say 23, you say you give?
I thought he said 20,000.
Oh, just 20.
Yeah.
Might have misunderstood him.
No, you got it right.
Anyway, but I would like to add in the motion, it's his responsibility of any type of hazardous material or the tree or.
The proposed contract provides that he has a due diligence period, and I'm sorry, I can't remember how long, it's very short, 30, 60 days. And if he decides to close it, he takes the property in its as-is condition.
Okay.
That's what the proposed contract, that's what it says. But it's fine in your motion, but
I'm not trying to get you not to add that to the motion. I'm just trying to, would like to explain though that that's what the contract
I
says.
think there's more insurance.
Okay.
So I think it's an appropriate part of the motion. I don't have a problem with that. I just wanted to explain what the contract, the proposed contract is.
Have a motion. Entertain a second.
Yes. I second.
Renee beat you. Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Butler.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Wilson.
No.
Wright.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Item number 21, consider adoption of a resolution approving action taken by the Wagoner Public Works Authority authoring issuance and delivery of a promissory note of the authority to Armstrong Bank in the sum of $100,000 for partial payment for the purchase price for one EnviroSite Rower X HD system with integrated camera lift and related accessories, waiving competitive bidding and containing other provisions related thereto, or take other action.
Council is the same thing, Public Works.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Item number 22, consider project update and approval of pay application number 4 in the amount of $94,790.45 from Glover and Associates for WAG 2409 2024 street rehabilitation per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group LLC, or take other action.
Council, we received pay app number 4 from the contractor. I have reviewed it, and as far as the quantities go, everything's good. I cannot make a recommendation to pay it, okay, because there's still some other issues that needs to be done. We did meet the contractor this afternoon to go over specifically here at Church and Casper. He's told the council and us that he would be starting on this in about a week and a half. So we got issues that still needs to be addressed. Mike McClure is a guy that's representing Glover and Associates. If you have any questions for him, or if you have any questions for me.
Discussion. Mike, have they went over a lot of the issues with you, or?
Yes, sir, we've been over all the issues with me.
Okay, so no, me and Counselor Butler, we had a lot of issues, I believe it was Story, no State.
Yeah, it's on Jefferson and all the streets that we done up there in the northeast side of town. That's the ones that they're cutting right now, cutting them, but they're still gonna do something with that in the center.
Yes.
I'm not liking that at all.
And if you look at my letter, I said that they hadn't addressed that, and I talked to him about that today, and he's gonna get us a response to it.
Okay.
Anyone else have anything? Consider
So your recommendation is to hold off the pay
That's correct.
until it's complete?
And until we see some improvements made. I'm worried if we have to go pay somebody else to do it.
Until issues are addressed.
Excuse me?
Until issues are addressed.
That's correct.
Do I understand that your recommendation is to deny the application?
That's correct.
further discussion? Entertain a motion?
Make a motion to deny.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Okay, who was,
Shane made the motion, Kevin seconded.
To deny.
Motion was to deny.
thank you. Butler?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Higginbottom?
Yes.
Wagoner?
Yes.
North?
Yes.
Sampson?
Yes.
Item number 23, consider approval of change order number 2 in the amount of $5,934.60 for WAG 24-09, 2024 street rehabilitation from Glover and Associates, or take other action.
Council, what this change order is over on Casper and Church. When I put the change order together, I assumed 2 inches, 14 feet wide. Once we got in there and started doing the work, we needed more asphalt. We ended up making it a lot wider down Casper than what we originally estimated. And what this is the estimated tons it's going to take to finish that part of the project.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
Make that motion to approve the change order number 2 in the amount of $5,934.60.
Second.
And a motion and a second, please call roll.
Butler?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Wagoner?
Yes.
Wright?
No.
Higginbottom?
Yes.
Sampson?
Yes.
Wilson?
No.
North?
No.
Item number 24, review of City of Wagoner Employee Policies and Procedures Manual.
Okay, so I've got, so far, we were wanting to change those 2 words to must instead of may.
Mine stopped.
Is there anything different on this one that anyone would like?
Yeah.
Gotta make the same motion, you know?
Yes, and I was
mean,
trying
you
to,
gotta-
yeah, I
gotta
got you.
include the same stuff.
Right.
To make
The-
the
the-
exact same motion.
So,
You got it right here.
yeah, there was one other thing that I might have see it in here. And it's basically on page, it's actually changed from the last time that when I looked at it. It had to do with the employment of relatives. And so that's, let's see here, section, it's 205.
What page?
Page 6. It's like right at the bottom, close to the bottom. And again, is this the current or the updated one? Because what I'm getting at, I think the last one that I got, it had that an employee could be, or a person could be a relative, and be hired in that department, even if the supervisor was.
With approval of the board or the
Yeah,
city
yeah.
council, yes. We just,
It's not-
yeah. It has to be approved by the council or the board,
So,
period.
They're not hiring.
No,
Well,
it wouldn't be
and-
approved until the council and the board approved it.
and I guess that's still what, and because even in here, and what we have here says the, approved by council determining that such employment is neither disruptive nor detrimental, to the department. Well, so it's like every single time that it can be. I mean, we know that if someone is a supervisor and, so I guess what I'm getting at, I don't even know why we even have to do, like, it should just be, they shouldn't be, if the supervisor is there and they have a relative, they should not be underneath them, like, at all.
We've hired several.
I understand that maybe we start now and we can implement it right now, not saying anyone that's in there
So
you know.
the reason we've done that in the past is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Hicks, but there's an Attorney General's opinion that says that even though that person is their direct supervisor, they are not hiring their relative, so therefore it's not nepotism.
Well,
That's why it has to go before the council.
so, but doesn't every supervisor, they're in that interview with them, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, so they would, and then they pretty much say, well, I like that guy, so I want to hire him. I mean, that's still that process, so it's still like they're still going to tell you that they want that person in their, directly or indirectly, to say, yes, I'm good with that person, even if it's a relative or not.
I don't necessarily agree with that, though. I mean,
I guess what I'm.
Larry Neely is an outstanding city employee.
Mhm.
I mean, great man. And his nephew's his boss. Well, we hired him.
But that's, I mean, and you're right, but that's one account, that's, I mean, but we still have other ones, you know, I mean, that's great, but I still feel like that.
I'll give you another example, and I was asked this when I ran for office. Dalton Grooms. How do you feel about Dalton Grooms answering to his father? I'll tell you one thing, if Dalton Grooms wasn't a hell of a fireman, it'd be different, but he's a hell of a fireman.
Right. No, and I get that one as well. I mean, because I recall at that time, what, 4 years ago, voting to go ahead and move forward with that. But I think that we still need to put in something where we don't have to worry about that part of it anymore. Like everything, whatever's happened before, it's done. We move forward and we implement something where we know that it's in the rule books, policy and procedures. You don't even have to come to us and ask us because it's already in there. So I just feel like that if they're a supervisor, then they definitely should not be. Because, I mean, there's just always, we're given that a chance of something happening. Those two that you said before, I don't have any concern with them because we know them, we understand, but we don't know the next person. We don't know. So I just feel like that we just need to put something that's absolute in here so we don't have to worry about it anymore.
But why are we risking passing on good employees over this?
And I don't necessarily disagree, Counselor Sampson. I understand where you're coming from, but we do also live in a small town. Unfortunately, a lot of people are related, and that's just kind of been part of it.
Well, I get that.
And I understand where you're coming from.
And I
absolutely
get
do.
that too, but that you can hire them in another department. Like there's multiple departments. You don't have to put them, like, if we had one department and that was the only department we have, then like, well, we all have to be in this one. But, you know, there's other departments that they can be in. So that, to me, I'm just, I don't know, that's just.
We don't always have openings for all departments. And, you know, not always is that someone that's good at the cemetery isn't gonna be good at the electric
Right.
department. I mean, it's not always like that. You know, or maybe they were a police officer before and we're not gonna hire them to be a truck driver. They don't have their CDL. I mean,
Well, and
I think our backup plan on that is by bringing it before this board.
well, and I get that, but then even in here, it says, you know, the approval of the council determining such employment is neither disruptive or detrimental. So it's like, we could do it, and then it could be detrimental later, but we've already made a decision on it. So what do we do now?
You always have a 6-month probation period for that person. And it's hard to fill these positions. You can look at the board outside her office.
How many open positions we have right now?
10. It's getting harder and harder every day to fill them.
Yeah.
I'd like to say something. In reference to this, you guys might think about what you're saying, because there's not a lot of people that want to come to work for the city of Wagoner like they used to be. Is you go and get with HR and find out how many openings you have. We hire people at the police department. Nobody's, you know, they'll be there for a month, they might be there for a week because you don't have any loyal people. And if it is, it's like my son, probably the elephant in the room, my son has worked at the police department, but I'm not his supervisor, that man back there is. I don't discuss his wages, I can't tell you what he makes or anything else. And those people you can depend on, whether they're Wagner rights or whatever. No one wants to come to work, for obviously everybody knows that we don't pay a lot or whatever, and nobody wants to work for us. But you need to give them where you can.
And you know, I think that's something to take pride in. Shane, Tony, you think either one of your boys would have been police officers if y'all had?
I'll tell you what, whenever it was brought to my attention that Bob wanted to hire my son, I told him no. I swear on my badge, I told him no. Don't do that. I don't want you to become a cop. I don't want you to become a cop here, because I've been a cop here for 33 years. I know Wagner. But I love Wagner, but I know Wagner, you know, because, you know, but that boy gave his life for this town and everybody in this room. And he's made a dang good cop of the city of Wagner. He's got 2 life-saving awards that he's got for saving your grandmother and another kid, you know, and everything else, like a lot of other people. So you can't really, I know you can, but like in a bigger town for nepotism or whatever, there's ways to get around it. Like his, he was damn good firefighter. I watched him taking in a house that blew up, I set itself on fire, and then we couldn't get him out. His son came up, I'll get him out. He don't know where to notch it, get the air flowing, smoke him out or whatever. You'll overlook a lot of good people like that.
But why don't, in our recommendation, that the family member can't sit in on the hiring? I think that sounds pretty simple. And then if there does have to be some type of solution as far as disciplinarian, then the city council is the one, and that individual, because at the VA, you could get hired at the VA, but if there's any type of indiscretion, that the person that is related to that individual cannot sit in on anything. So I think it sounds like a simple solution, because it is a small town. It's just that they don't sit in on the hiring, the wages, the firing, and then we can put it in here, and that ought to be able to resolve it.
And I get what you're saying, but that's still an indirect, I mean, they don't have to be in there, but I mean, I'm just being honest, like, I mean.
They don't have to be in there, but then we initially make the final decision.
Even if they're in there, we're still gonna make the final decision.
Yes. I mean, you just have to put the language in there right where it doesn't lead to
At least
nepotism.
not while I've been mayor, not to my knowledge that we've had any issues with this.
No.
I think it's
Might not
actually
have
worked
any
very
issues
well.
publicly, but you know, there's always been, I mean, you know, Tony and Mr. Groom's an exception to the rules, but there have been people that have been over their children or family members, and the disciplinary issues have been a little different with someone else. So, but if we can put the right language in there, I think we can resolve this. And we don't have to we don't have to not hire them, and then we can also put the part in there to make sure that there's no bias in the policy.
And the wage is public knowledge. I mean, we vote on that in the budget, and then when we take them off probation.
Just the treatment. So making just sure that the policy is not biased. You know, it's easy to write the language in there. For what everyone's here tonight, we can come to an agreement of how we want that read so that everybody is treated fairly, even if their father or their auntie or whomever is over them.
What are we thinking?
I mean, I get everything what has been said, but I still have to make it, I still feel like the decision that there should not be an employee and their relative is their supervisor. I mean, yes, it's worked great so far for 3 or 4 different, departments and supervisors, but, with their kid or whatever.
They're the supervision over that department, Patrick, but they're not the indirect supervisor over that person because, can you do that like that, Mr. Hicks? You, like I said, at the VA, you could be the supervisor over this department and your child or your family member can work in that department, but the indirect supervisor is not your relative that is over the department. I think it's pretty simple.
I think Renee's got a good point.
Yes. And I mean, if it works for the government, I don't know why it won't work for us. But there's a word called indirect and direct. So when there's an issue, then they can't play no part in it, making the decisions concerning that individual.
So would we do it at the recommendation of the mayor and the HR or something along those lines? I don't know how to word it correctly.
Well, I definitely feel like the hiring needs to go before the council.
For sure.
Yes.
Council needs to approve
Absolutely.
on that.
Absolutely.
And it should just word that, you know, whoever's over that department, if they're hiring a relative. And we're not talking about third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth cousin, but if they're hiring a relative, then they cannot be the indirect supervisor over that. That it could go through HR, or it could go through the counseling board, anyone other than that individual.
What's everyone thinking?
Could I ask a question? Are the provisions that you're discussing right now in the public works?
Yes, sir.
No.
No, I'm sorry, the revision, no. It's already listed in here as what it states, relatives may be employed. We already passed one like that, yes.
And that's the thing I
If we
didn't,
do that, we're going
It's in the Wagner Public Works Authority.
that's why I looked.
Just like that.
And what page?
Hang on, let me grab the Wagner Public Works.
Because I looked for, and it didn't say anything specific to that. It said something different. I think they are both two different revisions of the policies. Because I looked through here and if I did, yeah, because I looked through that and I did not see that. And if I missed it, there's 205, page 4.
This one says,
Ken, is the nepotism with elected officials, or would it be the same as supervisors?
It's two different,
Yeah,
Section 205 of
Right.
the
Got it.
Wagner
I mean, I
Public
know-
Works
I know
Authority,
what I
page
can.
4.
that's the reason.
But I didn't know if that's the same rules with, like a city supervisor.
The supervisor doesn't hire.
see, one says board and one
Okay,
says
what I
council.
thought.
Yes, ma'am. Whenever you're talking about the Public Works Authority, you are a board. And when you are referring to the city of Wagner, you are a council.
Couldn't hire him. I couldn't hire my nephew to work at the pool. I couldn't.
Nope.
Couldn't do it. Then it came in and said, I want to be a lifeguard for free. Can't do it. Now,
I think it's an easy.
if Lori's cousin wanted to be a lifeguard for free, we could bring it here, we could vote on it, absolutely.
Yep, I missed it. I just voted wrong. And I'm the one that actually. They can be amended, right? At another meeting.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And one of the things that it just occurs to me, and this isn't legal, but that I'm not sure that all our departments are large enough to have direct and indirect supervisors.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know that they're not. That'd be an HR question, not a legal question. But I just happened to think of that when we were talking about that. So we'd have to work out that kind of language for those small departments.
Well, because the major departments are the fire, EMS, and police. They have more employees than anyone else, right?
Correct.
No?
EMS has the most, as it
I
stands.
mean, not fire.
Oh, no, well, they've got 7, not fire.
Oh, 7.
I agree with that, yeah, but police and EMS are definitely the biggest departments we have.
And one of the issues you might consider is that if you're going to change this so that you can do it, make it prospective, so that TJ doesn't have to go look for a job.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying,
Yeah.
or whatever we have already no, and that's what I said before, like, whatever's already implemented, we can't go back. But, moving,
Fire chief.
yeah, it's not not putting it retroactive, it's just,
I feel very well with how it's written, that we have to bring it to the board. I mean, that's what we've done in the past. And, like I said, we have issues, we have the 6-month probation. I just,
in that, kind of a light bulb, but whatever, but the 6 months probation, like, I don't think we still, the only way that I feel somewhat comfortable with it is that the 6-month probation is not the absolute the end of that. Because if something happens in 8 months or a year, then we need to still be able to make.
you wanna put them on probation longer?
No, I'm just saying, because basically what you're saying, like, if nothing happens in that first 6 months, and then there's something happens in month 8, then we can't do anything about it, because now if they're parents or supervisors, so I mean, that's basically, you're saying we have time, we have 6 months to make that decision. Well, we should be able to make that decision on if something is happening in month 8.
So are you worried that, say, an uncle is a supervisor, he gets upset with nephew and he wants to fire him?
No, it's more like the opposite of that, like if.
Give him a raise?
Well, there's, I mean, I don't think those things would.
What's the issue that you're worried about?
All right,
And you don't have to say any names. just
No,
give me-
no, I mean, there's
Example.
nothing, okay, well, little bitty things, because I mean, it starts little. Obviously, they can't really mess with the pay, because I mean, the pay is set, whatever it is.
Right.
Let's just say, they got an 8-hour shift, and they have a 30-minute break, because their dad is whatever, they take an hour every single day. The other employees see that, and they're like, well, how come he gets an hour? Or he leaves early, because dad is taking care of the rest of his shift. Well, they don't do it for everyone else. So I think that could be a little issue when it come down to someone saying, well, why does he get to go early? Why does he get to stay? Why does he get to go for an hour break? So then that puts that, what's that word on here? Well, disruptive or detrimental. Because now it's disruptive, because now they know that he's been treated or she's been treated better than the other employees.
That could happen for a friend.
Oh, well, yeah, I know, I get that, but it's, I feel like could happen more when it come down to it being, a relative.
So what solution do we need to put in there to address that?
I don't know. For me, I don't know if there is a solution.
He wants to cut it out.
It's always a solution.
Just have it, if there is disciplinary action after the 6 months, have it go before the HR.
HR and the board.
It goes before HR
That's what I
already.
said, but I mean, as
Yeah,
far as.
HR and the board.
Yep.
Couldn't that be the solution?
I mean, that's
you
where
can-
HR
you can
would get
govern it.
involved, they go to HR, make a whistleblower complaint.
Yep.
We deal with it.
They could transfer departments even.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If it's.
I mean, there's whistleblower laws out there.
And I'm only
It's
one,
not
I'm
like
only
we're in
one.
trouble for it.
I'm just, I'm only one vote. I mean.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying, there's whistleblower laws out there too, so it's not like,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm only,
It's not a matter of one vote, it's a matter of a solution,
right.
okay? So if there's an issue, it's kind of like you handle the issues with your children. There's always got to be a resolution. So if there's someone who is taking advantage of the time, the docket or whatever, and there are individuals that see this, then it needs to be addressed. But you just can't talk about it and don't address it, because it's not going to change anything. So if we address it and that supervisor happens to be the uncle or whatever, then it needs to be brought to HR and the board. Them individuals need to clearly know, I can take it to the HR and the board, so that way if you don't take it, they might think if I take it to HR might throw it in trash, it might not get none done. But it has to go, it needs to be communicated that you actually can go to HR and the board so that it can get addressed, and it's not thrown in the trash.
Then you can have disciplinary
That's
actions
right.
against the employee and/or the supervisor.
That's right. They need to know that they have rights too, regardless, you know. The other individuals that are in that department have the same rights as the ones that are hired by or hired under a family member. I think there's just a lack of communication. We don't want to talk about it. As you said, you were tiptoeing around it. You know, either we address it or we don't address it.
I think we
And
can
we
address
put
it
the
without-
language in there. How we gonna do this, y'all? We grown people. We sitting there going back and forth over how should we do something. It's just that simple. The truth don't always feel good. So let's address the truth and put it in menu and whatever we need to do and be done with it instead of sitting here going over it for the last 15, 30 minutes.
Thank you, ma'am.
What we gonna do?
How do we want it to read?
My answer hadn't changed, so I mean, mine is not any different than what, so.
I would make a recommendation that we approve it the exact same way we did Public Works.
And amend, if there is some disciplinary issues, that it be brought to the HR as well as the board. And then that individual's relative can make the sole decision on how that person is supposed to be disciplined based on that.
I would hope all of our employees would feel comfortable coming to any of us
I don't think
with any problems at all or worry. I mean,
Let's not be oblivious to the fact, because everybody
Oh,
will
no,
not
I-
come to you. So, but if you leave both of those windows open, they feel like they have enough support where they can come and say, hey, this is an issue.
And the thing is, I may be overstepping, but I believe that each and every one of us council members have had someone in whatever department come talk to you about someone feeling like they've been, mistreated, or they feel like someone's being treated better than they have. And these are people that are not even related. And unfortunately, I feel like that there were some times that nothing was addressed at that time. They came to us for a reason, because they felt like that, again, there's a channel that they can go, because they might have went to HR, they might have went to their supervisor, might have done these other things, and nothing was done. So I just feel like that now, when it comes down to someone that's a relative, that is that much harder. It's almost like they can't go to their supervisor, because they know that there is directly or indirectly someone there that might hear them. They might be a great supervisor. Yes, you're right. Let's address that. Let's fix it, or we're not going to address it.
Yeah, but we're not, you're not talking about the same thing here. You're talking about a different avenue. We're talking about nepotism.
Can I add something to that? Can I say something? We have, and I told council members this, when I was employed, you got any issues? I say, yeah, if I have policies and procedures, follow if I do. If I have issue, I go to my supervisor. Supervisor don't work, I go to personnel director. And the problem with where you say you've had employees say that, if they tell you that and never goes any further, does that get solved? It just gets brought up at a council meeting. There's never a resolution. Now, if you got a report that personnel director got reported on something and didn't take action, is it, who's the next people to take action on that? If you got a report of that?
Right, well, but.
Who's the next in line from personnel? The mayor. And so then they would go to the mayor and say, hey, the mayor would go to personnel and say, hey, did somebody make this report? And personnel says no, and they did, well, then it ends up before this board. But where people just make accusations to you and keep making accusations and it never goes any further, that doesn't get solved. We just end up having discussions for 30 minutes in a council meeting about not really finding a resolution. Because the only way you get it, and I have filed a grievance against one of my supervisors before. He was in a room with me when I done it, and it was in front of personnel and the city manager at the time. It was WPWA director at the time, which was both. And so I know how policy procedures work, but you as a council, you approve the policies and procedures. So you don't expect employees to follow that.
Well, no, well, that's.
Do you not expect, because what does policy and procedure say if the employee has an issue with their boss, or somebody has an issue with their boss, who they supposed to report it to?
Yeah.
And so
HR.
if they're not going to personnel, they're not following policy and procedures. And for a person that's wrote a lot of policy and procedures at the fire department, I know what that means when they don't get followed. Special emergency services. You know, so if they're making accusations against personnel, then that would go to the mayor, and the mayor would find out if that's happening. Then it would come before this board.
Well, yeah, and I get what you're saying, and that's why we're actually discussing it right now about policies and procedures that we, as a board, are implementing what we feel is the right thing to do. And so, again.
But you made the statement you keep hearing from employees.
Well, no, I'm just saying that I'm sure that and I said, I don't know, but I'm sure that each one of us at some point in time has had an employee or someone come to us about a situation that they felt was not fair or whatever it is. And there's been times I'm like, yeah, well, that's typical. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's some like, well, we might need to try to address it. But, and like I said, all accusations are not, valid, but some are, but again, that's, I don't know, I just don't,
I don't think
I was-
that you're
it's-
overstepping your bounds, Patrick, but again, there's a resolution. I don't know why, what happened to us sitting down? If there's someone that made an accusation, and I agree with Kelly, because I hear it all the time, well, so-and-so done this, this, and this, and then when I say, well, okay, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna meet, and we're gonna call everybody in who's supposed to have been so-and-so, and then they'll say, well, I don't wanna do it. Well, if you don't wanna have an open meeting, then you should come to tell me. But if there is an issue, I think that we can put in the policy that we can sit down and meet. We have to follow up and make sure it's done. It's called follow-up. If you don't follow up, you fall through. So I agree with you on those things need to be written in here.
Right.
And needs to be addressed, and it's called, chain of command. So I make a motion to keep that, but to amend that and add to that, it needs to be brought, if that is, in the disciplinary report needs to be brought to HR, to the mayor, to the board. And if the complaint is made to you, then it needs to be addressed. Well, Dawn, I know you feel like it's almost there, but sometimes it almost don't get done, But if it's in writing, when someone comes right here, we can say, go to page so-and-so because it's in writing, instead of just saying, well, we talked about it last week and it was almost there. No, that's not good enough. If it's written, then it's so. And if it's not written, it's not, according to Judge Shepherd. That's what I always told me. If it's written, it's so. If it's not, it's not.
It's notarized, too.
Yeah. So
what are we wanting to change it to?
that if there's a disciplinary issue with someone who is hired in the same department as their relative, then it is to be taken to HR, to the mayor, and to the council. And, meaning it's giving everybody a fair chance. She may not do her job, and I've seen it happen, and he may not do his job, and I've seen it happen. But then now you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us.
I don't think it's disciplinary, though, total, I think. Patrick has more concerns than disciplinary.
Well, the only
I hate
ones-
to keep.
Only ones I
spinning
heard
it,
him
but-
speak of as being disciplinary, because he said, what if they go to lunch?
Well, no, I'm just saying that's more favoritism as far as, and which would be nepotism, in the sense that they're getting more of, of 30 more minutes, or getting off 30 minutes earlier, or.
Well, it's still a disciplinary problem because it's not lined up with the policy. If you get 30 minutes, you're supposed to get 30 minutes. So it's a disciplinary problem. If you're supposed to get 30 minutes and you're doing 45 minutes, that's a disciplinary problem, and it needs to be handled.
So, I'm sorry, so are you guys on the page of hiring relatives or not? I mean, I just want to address that first, because that's what that section
I
is,
don't
is
mind
hire.
being hired, I don't.
He doesn't want the relative to be the supervisor.
Okay, because this is in general, it doesn't say anything about supervisor, it says relative
Well,
and
and like I said
department.
before, whenever it did say that.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of now, to me, when you say that now, it's vague. It doesn't imply anything. So now it can be the supervisor, it could, you know, or just a, I don't know.
What we gonna do?
So is the issue right now just the hiring of relatives? Your motion is to change the disciplinary part of it, correct?
There is a disciplinary issue. No, let's move on.
And your motion is that if there's a disciplinary issue, that they go to HR first. If they don't like it, like her decision,
Right.
then they go to the mayor. If they
Chain of
don't like
command.
his decision, then they would go before us.
Go before the board.
I mean, but there's a three-step process. They don't-
I'd rather you not hire relatives at all than changing all this disciplinary action, because it should be equal and the same for everybody.
Well, that right there is more, that's more,
I'm just being honest with you, counselors. I'd prefer you just take away the hiring of relatives than,
That's already the chain of command, that's
yeah,
already.
it's already how we do it.
well, I'm just saying, but you're making it, that's not, that what you're saying is like, well, if we don't, well, let's get rid of everything. Well,
And I'm not trying to be
Well, I'm just saying, but that right-
facetious by any
Yeah.
means, sir. I hope you're not taking it that way. I'm just simply saying that if I'm required to be wrote up by my supervisor, and that's okay, and it's just done privately in the HR office, it's done. But then if I'm related to him, then I got to come to the mayor and to the council to get my write-up.
No.
That's how I'm interpreting here what we're saying. I want to make sure what we're doing.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Renee, but what she's saying is that, let's say John Doe gets in trouble, okay? And you write him up.
Mhm.
If he does not agree with your decision on that write-up,
Mhm.
you know, let's say you give him a couple days off.
Any suspension or termination is already brought to the council by appeal.
Right.
But how are you determining that over being related?
I'm not. I'm talking about what Renee was talking about. I'm not.
But that's not what
I'm
we're
not-
talking about, we're talking
That's-
about being related.
I'm talking about her motion, right now. I'm talking about Renee's motion. Renee's motion is that if they disagree with what Lori's decision is on the disciplinary, then they would go to the mayor. If That's
Well, I mean,
the way I'm understanding it, right?
That's-
That's the way the
it is.
process is already.
Right now,
It is.
we just had an incident, and
I was gonna say
they didn't like it, so they appeal it,
Right.
and then it comes
Right.
before us.
There's
So,
always.
well, it's already sitting.
You guys already
It's
have that blanket in
here's
here.
what I'm trying to tell you, Renee.
That's state statute.
But what Patrick is saying is that it's just not written, y'all. So say Tony's son,
It is.
That's not what he's saying. He's saying that he does
He's not
not
cool.
want to hire, he does not want the the person to be hired by their relative as their supervisor.
hired or directly or indirectly in the same department. Because at the end of the day, there's still, I don't know. Yeah, I know, like I said, you know,
so you're okay as long as that if they can get hired in the same department as a relative, but their relative just cannot be their supervisor. Is that
Cannot.
what you're saying?
How many issues,
Honestly,
how many issues have we had with uncles or aunts or cousins as supervisors on employees or?
well,
Issues, none that I'm aware of.
well, and that's,
right now,
I mean, I haven't had any brought to me, but there's several related people here.
and they're just their coworker. I mean, it's,
And we've had husband and wives work together in the same department. We've had son and father and aunt and uncle, or whatever it may be, over the past 50 years, I'm sure.
I feel very comfortable, Renee, with how the policy is right now, and how we're handling this.
It has to get approved by you guys.
Yeah,
That's,
I mean, fire, suspension, termination, they can appeal
Yep.
to the board. I don't feel like that has to do anything with Patrick's concern to an extent. So that's why, once again, my recommendation would be to the board to do the exact same
If-
thing as we did in Public Works.
I mean, not even, I mean, to, the reason, okay, to put emphasis on this, we can amend it, and this, I'm just being straight up, we can amend it to where if there is deemed to be nepotism or whatever, that person is 100% terminated, just like that.
Which person?
The person, the supervisor, if we understand that they're,
Imagine if we came up with
but you
nepotism,
see what I'm
we'd
saying?
fire that supervisor
By saying,
anyway.
but I was gonna say, well, by saying that.
Well, nepotism is for elected officials.
Well, okay, but.
Favoritism.
Yes.
So, but
yes,
what I'm,
favoritism.
but what I'm getting at, if that was implemented in there, if a supervisor or favoritism, if that supervisor, directly or indirectly helped their relative, and we know it was wrong, and we say that they're immediately fired, then there'll be an issue like, well, I don't want that, right? Because that supervisor wouldn't want that as well, right? So I'm like, so we're in a limbo. If we can't have that, then we shouldn't have the other part. We should not allow them to be that person. If they're confident in being the supervisor and they're not going to do anything wrong or unconsciously for their relative, then put it in there like that then.
Well,
Because no one would want that because it's hard, unfortunately, it's hard to not help your relative. It's hard not to.
That's the other thing, man.
I'm just being honest, it's hard not to.
You, Councilman,
Yes.
I watched you out there on that ball field. You were harder on your kid than you were on any of the rest of them.
Right.
Because you have an expectation of it.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people that has relatives and has families that are doing it would be a lot harder on their relatives than they are anyone else because you have a higher expectation for
Right.
them. Like I said, I watched you do that.
Oh, yeah, for sure,
On
yeah.
the ball field,
Mhm.
you know, just here recently. And I don't think any of that other stuff is bad. I don't think we've had anything like that.
Right, right.
Because I can tell you one thing, right now, that man sitting behind you can tell you, and I'm not his supervisor, or his TJ, or whatever, but he came to work late when he was first hired, and I told his supervisor, I said, I want him wrote up, write him up now. And it was done, because I got a higher expectation from
Right.
him.
And that's the thing. I'm not contesting your integrity or Chief Groom's integrity or any of or basically that part of, because you're right. I'm hard
Who
on.
do you have here that you're just discussing, talking about? All I think I know is Chief Grooms and Bob Hayward.
No, I'm saying for the future. I'm not even, like I said, I'm not even saying you do anything retroactively for things that have been done. I'm just saying moving forward, implementing something so where none, like, everything that's in place is already in place. People that are in departments are already in departments. But if we move forward, then we can actually, like, I don't see why that's an issue
Well,
that moving forward, we can do that.
If
But
a
it's
problem
okay with-
comes up, it can be addressed. If we haven't had any incidences and like I said, I mean, I know this small town, but yes, everybody and their dogs,
Right.
except for me, because I moved here in the 70s, everybody and their dogs is almost related.
Right.
One way or another, and
Here's the deal.
we're not gonna get around that.
We can go back and forth on this all
Right.
night long, but we're just beating a dead horse
Yep,
now.
yep.
And say,
I mean, let's vote.
Kelly showed favoritism to Dalton, and then we're gonna do an investigation, and if we find it, then we're gonna take care of the problem. But so far, that has not been brought to me in my 2.5 years of being mayor, of any favoritism by a relative. It's kinda almost what Tony just said. I've had more things said of friends than relatives. Yeah, there's a lot of people who work for the city that like their friends better than their relatives.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
And that's why I feel very good with the policy and procedure that we have in place. But once again, I would recommend to the board to approve this exactly like we did the Public Works Authority.
I'll make that motion to approve this.
Well,
exactly like we did
we're
the other.
reviewing.
We're not on that one yet. That's the next agenda
Moving
item.
forward then. Moving forward.
Item number 25, consider approval of a resolution amending and adopting the Employee Policies and Procedures Manual of the City of Wagoner, Oklahoma, or take other action.
I'll make that motion to approve it, just like we did the Public Works Authority.
I'll second it.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Sorry, I'm still writing.
You're fine.
Butler,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
No.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright,
No.
Wilson,
No.
Sampson,
No.
Thomas,
Yes.
4-4, Mayor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 26 is unscheduled public appearances. Item 27 is departmental reports, which were done in Public Works. Item 28 is adjournment.
So mate.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Butler,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned, 8:34. I'd like to call the City of Wagoner Economic Development Authority regular business meeting, July 7th at 8:35.
Where you going?
I know, I forgot about it. I made myself, I already got the door.
She about stood up, didn't she?
Get ready to get on up.
Sneak out.
Item number 1 is consider approval of minutes of June 2nd and 11th.
So mate.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Hang on one second.
You're fine.
Let me get to the right paper. My apologies. Butler,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Item number 2, consider approval or denial of claims for June 2025 to include WEDA number 17 through 19 and WEDA Junction Project number 2.
Discussion?
So mate.
Second.
Have a motion second, please call roll.
Sampson,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Item number 3 is unscheduled public appearances. Item number 4 is adjournment.
Second.
Second, please call roll.
Butler,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 8:37.
I'm about there.